Everything was rehearsed, the final text prepared for the trial, consisting of questions which were put to one by the general attorney and the president of the court and so on, were listed and your answers were listed.
Přišel jsem do dělnického hnutí jako člověk buržázního původu. Můj otec byl zámožným vesnickým obchodníkem. Vyrůstal jsem v prostředí obchodnické rodiny a to ovlivnilo mé osobní vlastnosti a můj charakter. Vstoupil jsem v roce 1921 do komunistické strany a přišel jsem tam s různými maloměšťáckými názory, kterých jsem se nezbavil. To vedlo k tomu, že jsem se nestal skutečným komunistou a že jsem jako komunista nejednal.
Slansky and 10 others were hanged in December 1952, their ashes scattered over the ice on an unknown country road. Stalin had shown his power. While he survived, it meant death to disobey him. In the Soviet Union itself, culture and science were kept insulated from the infection of all Western influence. The arts, painting, literature, music were regimented by the doctrine of socialist realism.
Мне кажется, что участие Сталина
Stalin's interference with the work of the Bolshoi theatre was done with love and good taste.
и любовью. Но то, что он
But the fear that it created,
страх
and the fact that people were under his spell,
и преклонение перед этим,
this produced a lot of negative effects.
оно и давало
It not only made people nervous,
противное, что
but destroyed the principles of art.
но и ломало искусство и принципы нашего искусства.
Fear of Stalin's disapproval paralyzed the creative arts. Dmitry Shostakovich was reprimanded by the party for departing from the principles of socialist realism. Official art showed the Soviet Union as a promised land of plenty and of opportunity, guided by wise and selfless leaders. But those who discussed real change, even in private, like Susanna Pechuro and her student friends, risked punishment.
Мы очень много рассуждали об этом.
We discussed a lot. And we came to the conclusion that what was happening then was completely different from what we were taught to believe.
Соответствует тому, что нам рассказывают.
It wasn't socialism.
Что это никакой не социализм.
Susanna joined a secret discussion group. Aged 17, she was arrested, charged with treason and terrorism. 3 of her friends were executed.
Говорят, собирайся, поедешь.
They said, get ready, you come with us.
Собираться, одеваться.
I went to get dressed behind the screen in the room, and I clearly realized then that I would not be coming back. At that moment, I could see myself in the prison cell. Later, when I really was in the prison cell, I kept thinking back to that moment.
Over the years, millions shared Susanna's fate. They vanished, often without trace. Even to ask about them was to risk arrest.
И это то страшное, что я до сих пор не позволяю себе вспоминать, если я...
There are some things that are so awful, I don't let myself remember them. Because if I do, I can't sleep for weeks. They pulled children out of the arms of their screaming mothers, and then beat the mothers. The children just disappeared. They never knew what happened to them afterwards. There was nothing more awful than that, even though I saw them killing people, and anything else they felt like doing.
In 1952, Stalin presided over the 19th Congress of the Soviet Communist Party. The hall was packed with foreign delegations gathered to honor him. Stalin was old now, but still the unchallenged leader of world communism. Cold War, military competition with America, was already putting a heavy load on Soviet society. In public, Stalin's analysis of the world class struggle was hopeful.
И тем облегчить свою работу. Потому, повторюсь, что сама буржуазия, главный враг освободительного движения, стала другой, изменилась серьезным образом, стала более реакционной, потеряла связи с народом и тем ослабила себя. Понятно, что это обстоятельство должно также облегчить работу революционных и демократических партий.
But Stalin still feared the enemy within. He saw treachery everywhere. Above all, he suspected so-called cosmopolitans, mostly Jewish intellectuals and professionals who had already been persecuted for their Western contacts.
Сталину нужен был внутренний враг. Внутренний враг.
Stalin needed an internal enemy, a fifth column that could be blamed for the difficult situation in the country. And the Jews fitted that role very well. Because many Jewish families in the post-war years had someone in the United States, relatives or acquaintances. So to present Jews as the fifth column, agents of American imperialism, was very convenient.
In January 1953, 9 Kremlin doctors were accused of plotting with Western intelligence to kill Soviet leaders.
Я должен сказать, что, конечно, все это было спровоцировано.
The doctors' plot was instigated with Stalin's approval.
Операция против врачей.
Stalin had been suspicious of doctors for a long time before that.
Недоверие. Так что это болезненное такое состояние.
This was all due to his illness, made worse by his old age, and by his lifelong ideology that the enemies who always surround you should be constantly eliminated.
Врагов, которых без конца вокруг тебя много.
One of the doctors, Yakov Ettinger, died under torture. His son was arrested and interrogated.
They wanted me to make a confession, to make a statement that I was in the know, that I was familiar with certain facts which showed that my father and other doctors were wrongly treating certain patients. They wanted me to make this kind of statement, but they didn't get it from me, even though twice I was sent to the punishment cell.
5 of the 9 doctors were Jewish. The affair inflamed Russian anti-Semitism. Jews were denounced and purged throughout the medical profession and beyond. Suddenly, one winter night, Stalin collapsed with a brain hemorrhage. No one dared to treat him as he lay half-conscious on the floor.